Hey everyone, welcome back to Comicstorian, and today I want to talk to you about Gotham Knights. Now, this is the brand new video game from WB, kind of in vein of the Arkham series, but it's not about Batman, it's about the Bat family and them dealing with the death of Batman. A lot of people have asked me a lot of questions. Benny, what do you think about Gotham Knights? What do you think the story is going to be about? Do you think it's going to turn into Marvel's Avengers? Do you think they got loot? How does the loot work? How does leveling work? Well, today I'm hoping to answer all of those questions as I was given the privilege to play this game early by WB Games. And we're going to do some select footage for Comicstorian just to kind of get to the point of what I'm trying to tell you about here. But if you want to see more gameplay and more of my time with the game, I'll give you the link down below to our gaming channel, which is pretty much getting kicked off with this Gotham Knights video. So let's go ahead and cut to the beginning of the game when I finally got to sit down and play the game's tutorial mission. And don't worry, I got to play more than the tutorial. You'll find out more about that.
Now, as you can see, I started off with the Red Hood. If you know anything about Comicstorian, you know that I'm a big fan of the Red Hood, so of course, I picked Jason Todd as my starter character. I wasn't sure how long I was going to have to play this demo at the moment, thinking that I only had 20 minutes left in my allotted time due to actual issues that we were having with the connection and me being able to play it, so I just wanted to make sure I got in on the Red Hood gameplay. Now for the little bit of an excuse that I'm going to give you, there actually was a little bit of a delay on my actual gameplay. We were streaming it to myself, and for some reason I had a shaky connection that day at first. It will be fixed up in later clips, but I was off by about half a second, which makes timing things a little difficult. To start, I had to make my way forward. Making my way to the objective, and that's when I realized, since they were talking about Batman's last case and how we're here to investigate, this is probably the tutorial level, therefore I don't have a lot of things open to me. But it was then that I had my first hurdle gameplay-wise. The detective vision. I kept pinging it over and over, looking for the objective, and I couldn't find it anywhere. It kept saying to ping again, look again, use your AR. The guy in my ear was telling me, just use your AR. I was there for like 5 minutes, or at least it felt like 5 minutes, but it was probably like 30 seconds before I saw in the upper left-hand corner of the screen a marker that said, just look down. But I'll tell you, when you're on a time limit with a video game and you think you've only got 20 minutes, you get antsy fast. Like, holy cow, am I gonna waste my entire 20 minutes looking at the floor? Anyway, using Batman's VR tech, I make my way through the objective, performing the same basic detective stuff that is in the Arkham franchise. It really felt like an Arkham game again. But this is also when the second major issue with our connection and the streaming software came up. A high-pitched hissing sound came through, which is basically going to make most of this footage silent because I don't think you want to hear whee for like 20 minutes. But don't worry, we're going to jump into a combat sequence where my editor can put together a fun montage of Red Hood's gameplay. Keep in mind, my game was delayed and this was the tutorial sequence. But beyond that, let's hit that 90s reference. DJ, drop the beat. After some more fun tutorials for combat and getting into a fun montage, we then get to the open city situation. Now this part was actually quite enjoyable, because once I figured out where you stand and summon the Bat Cycle, I discovered that I can freely ride around on the Bat Cycle. The city felt alive, even if it was just police and sirens and stuff going on around me. The general public seemed to be out there and people were calling me up. It didn't feel empty like in Batman Arkham Origins or in Batman Arkham Knight or Batman Arkham City, where they just had an excuse of the city being empty. This felt alive and populated, which I really did enjoy. Also, if you're doing a tutorial sequence, don't play with the buttons until they tell you to do so. As you can see, while riding this motorcycle, I was learning how to do a wheelie. Now we're gonna move over to the important bits that you might have questions about, and this is gonna be for my Batgirl time. The nitty-gritty gameplay loop. This part isn't going to be that funny, but it's going to involve answering a lot of questions that I and many of you who have asked me about this game. First off, we have abilities, making it a pretty standard action RPG in this sense. You have abilities such as sneaking, fighting, and hacking. It reminded me of similar games in the genre, such as the Borderlands franchise or recent action RPG looter shooters. It seemed pretty standard, but it allows you to have a bit of customization with your character as you're progressing through the game. But now is the question that everyone has been wondering. Is this a looter shooter in the vein of Marvel's Avengers? Are we closer to Borderlands? Is there even a crafting system, or what is there? Well, you see, it's kind of a mixture of all of those systems. First off, you get mod chips to augment your current pieces of equipment. You also do have a leveling system. The gear is based around your leveling system. As you're doing quests and you're doing adventures, you'll unlock blueprints, which allows you to craft other equipment. And then in order to craft that equipment, you have to go out and do things in the city to get various materials to craft the gear as you're leveling up. Think of it like Borderlands though, not like Marvel's Avengers. As I was playing, my inventory was not being bogged down with 20 breastplates for Batgirl or 20 helmets for Red Hood. No, instead I just kept getting materials, and when they moved me over to Batgirl, I was able to just click a suit that they had already gained the blueprints to, which would have crafted the suit. Those crafted suits allow you to have full customization on the appearance. I was able to swap out different cowls, different gloves, different boots. But if you just want to have a straight classic outfit like the classic Arkham series, that option is also in the game. You're able to customize those colors, but outside of that, the costume is straight out of the history of the character. That just goes over your gear, so you don't even have to look at the differing changing outfits that your character is going to have. You literally have both options: fully customizable outfit or just slap on the classic suit. At that point, the game seems to follow a pretty standard action RPG route. Go out, do your missions, level up, put in your skill points, get your mod chips, get materials, unlock blueprints, get the better gear. There's different status effects, such as piercing, allowing you to hit the brutes a lot harder and not have to waste a heavy swing to break them, and that seems to be where the game is leaning. It did remind me more of Borderlands, less of Marvel's Avengers. But if you're looking for a straightforward Arkham title, this probably won't be for you. But I will say, as you can see from the footage here, it's not as intrusive or all over the place, like tons of shiny colors exploding from villains. They did a good job of making it all kind of be there and also be hidden at the same time. At this point, the game then follows pretty much a Batman-feeling adventure as we uncover Gotham without Batman. And if you want to see more of my footage, like my time with Batgirl or my time with Nightwing, or even the story about how I knew this game existed 4 years ago and wasn't allowed to tell anyone, not theorizing, I knew this game existed because I was in the wrong room at the right time, go on over to our other channel, Ben and Friends, where we basically play video games, have goofy times, and turn it into a narrated adventure for you. Or we open up Pokemon cards, or we have Oreos. We're doing a full relaunch over there now that we kind of know what we want to do with it, and would love to have you a part of that.